Hello, hello. I'm doing a video on, if you're wondering, there's a balloon up there. You're like, what is that in my background? I want to do a video on STAR, all things STAR consultant, and how to finish your STAR. We are currently in the last 2 weeks of a STAR quarter. So I'm going to go ahead and show those prizes so I can kind of explain STAR and kind of do a general STAR training into how, like, all the ideas and ways to finish your STAR, okay? So first, let me show you guys this. As a director, we get this mailed to us through Spanish in a director support package with the new products for that season so that we can, be ready with you guys into each new quarter. So how the STAR Consultant Program works, and it's our oldest program, I'm sorry it's backwards, is that every quarter, based on your sales, you can earn a prize from Mary Kay. I don't know if you heard the past, or the history of it, but it used to be a golden goblet. I think you had to order 1,000 a month, 3 months in a row, so 3,000 in a quarter to get a golden goblet. And once you got a golden goblet, it was just a big deal. And back then in the 60s, ordering 1,000 was probably like ordering 3,000, it was a really big deal. But you did that, it was such a big deal. But then Mary Kay one day went into a woman's house and saw a closet full, like she probably had some on display and the rest were just shoved into a closet, all these golden goblets. And she was like, oh, I think I have to change that. So this is the new STAR program. I don't know how long it's been around. I've been around Mary Kay since 2006. So I think that's like 15 years. And I have been a STAR probably like 60 quarters or something. So that means I have earned 60 different Cinderella prizes is what we call them. And one more thing I think is so sweet. Someone was like, Mary Kay, why don't you do like a cash bonus for all their sales that they're doing? And Mary Kay said, because a woman is going to turn around and spend that on a bill or something practical for her family. She's not going to spend it on herself. And I want her to be treated like Cinderella and like the queen that she is. So they pick really cool prizes, and you'll notice that they're trendy, like they're actually about to be by the time summer hits and you get to choose the prize on trend. So you might not even like know what this thing is or know that it's going to be cool. In the fashion world, my sister's a fashion designer in LA. She's always known 3 years in advance what was going to be popular that many years in advance. So here is what we have. Let's just look at this one, for example. So we've got, I don't know if you've seen that, but I'm starting to see a lot of the rock cell phone chargers and different things. So evidently that is a big deal. So we've got Mikasa. Wow, that's fancy. Anyways, it's going to be different each quarter. So I went to an Airbnb recently in Austin area, and she had giant turquoise rocks all the way down her stairs. So that's neat that these two things are doing that. Okay. Straightening brush. This, I'm literally using one of those. That's funny. So I know that that's at least like a $40 or $50 value. And there we go. We just got more and more, lots of Yeti things, lots of things to throw house parties. There's always lots of things for the season for you to enjoy yourself out on the patio, whatever's going on. Roxanne, our leader, was like, they brought the bike back. I don't even remember the bike in the first place. And she said they brought the bike back, and she's so excited. She has to order 7,800 to get her bike. Isn't that fun? Okay, so how it works is there's the 1,800 level divided by 3. That means you ordered about 600 a month, which means you also earned the company's, right now it's Spark a Chain Reaction, so we're calling it Spark Jewelry. And each new year there's a new theme, all right? So yeah, when you hit 600 about every month, that'll like kind of keep you on target for that. And you can set your sights on it. I do kind of tell people, like, at first your best might be 225 every other month, and then it might be 225 every month, and then it might be try to hit 300 because I'm doing a prize at 300 a month. Then it might be 450 every month, and then it might be 600, and then you'll notice that your worst might be 600 a month. and your best might be 1,200 a month. Like you'll just start to see it kind of grow and grow as you steady grow. That's probably all I've ever done in my business. There's probably been 5 or 6 months that I've done 60. Trying to remember the highest amount, like faces in a month. Besides that, I've done 30. Really, a lot of times I've done 30 faces a month. Sometimes I've done 15, faces in a month. Um, and then my first few years were just crazy because I was just woo. But anyways, just so you know how that program works, I would love to see all of us just start to be really consistent at that star level because we've got this good customer base. You probably would need like 30 to 60 customers to not even have to like think about it, because everybody's just getting all their little things throughout that 3 months that they need. The quarter runs halfway through the month. It's a weird quarter, so it actually like spills over into a new year for us on this one, or no, not quite. Yeah. So this one's March 16th to June 15th. So June and then July, August, September 15th it'll end. October, November, December 15th. So the quarter will start on December 16th to March 15th. That makes sense. So that's the quarters. It's really strange. Everything else in Mary Kay is by month. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. But this one kind of cuts in between a little bit. So anyways, ideas to finish start. Okay. So let's say you've got your original customer base. Okay. And they are ordering what they order. I think they say the average woman orders about 300 a year. So let's say you've got 300 divided by 12, 30, 20 bucks a month. So let's say you got 30 customers ordering 20 a month, 600. Crazy. That's 600 retail. So if you are at a place in your business where you are growing your inventory, you might sell 600 and order 600, plus the tax that they gave you. You might order all of that, use your profits to order some for you and order some for your inventory. You might be at that place where Mary Kay is a business, so you're building inventory, or it's hobby or personal use where you are just enjoying it and getting gifts out of it and tax write-offs out of it. So that's one strategy. So you can think about maybe if you had 60 customers, then star would not be an issue at all. Okay, so there we've got your customer base. If you don't have your customer base yet, or you're going for the higher level of stars, it's a $600 ordering jump to each new level that you do. So it goes 1,800 and then to 2,400 to 3,000 diamond level, 3,600 emerald level, and then it goes to a jump. Pearl is the big jump. About 1,200 more is 4,800 pearl, and then you've got the 6,000 pearl, $7,800 pearl, and 9,600. So those are just like huge jumps and leaps. But the prizes go from maybe 30, 40, 50, 60 to like $200 or $300 or $400 value prizes. So we've got a giant iPad with Mary Kay engraved on it. That's cool. Dyson Pure Cool Purifying Fan, Swarovski crystal bracelet, and the like. All right, so once you figure out, okay, I've got 30 customers, and here's the key. You can't have 30 customers that you don't ever reach out to, and really important that you don't send catalogs to. It used to be, if you wanted to know if you were stealing a person's customer, you would ask them, have you gotten a facial or a catalog in the last 6 months? Everything's gotten a little bit watered down now, where you just ask, have you purchased Mary Kay from anybody in the last year? But used to be when I was brand new in Mary Kay, and for my first like 5 years, it didn't even count as someone having a consultant if someone hadn't either recently facialed her and she maybe wasn't on the list yet, or hadn't got a catalog. So it's that important to get a catalog to your customers. 1, they see the new products. 2, increases your sales by 30%. 3, you're getting in touch with her, like you're having communication with her. 4, nobody else has catalogs that they mail out, like very rarely are there companies mailing out catalogs, but I guarantee the companies that are mailing out catalogs are selling a lot more, and ours is 30% more. That's crazy. So yeah, so if you've got your customer base that you're sending out catalogs to, and you have good communication with them, even if it's not really often on your Facebook page or email or texting, um, I really only text my customers a mascarathon once or twice a year, an open house, maybe if I'm coming to their town a couple times a year, and maybe one big challenge or something that I have. Email, same thing. I probably should do more. On that note, let me tell you this one side thing. Also in communication, I just went to this Linda Tubin training. She said that you want to touch them 4 different ways. So when you have something you really want to get out there, for example, this is one of my Court of Sales rings from last year. There's a new one that's blue that I'm earning right now, and I have to order 2,500 wholesale to finish in this month. It's going to be a little crazy. Well, that's a big deal. I want them to know about it, right? So if it's something like small, a text could work, but it's not like enough. So if you really want to grab someone's attention, 4 different ways of communicating. So you would email, text, phone call, Facebook page. You would like really get it out there. Is that all the things to do? Yeah. So I have an open house in Lubbock. So I just did all 4 of those things with my customers because I wanted to get their attention. If I didn't really care, I would send out a text or I would just put it on my Facebook page. And if someone wanted to come, sure. It's not that I don't care, but that as much as I put into it is what I'm going to get out. And if I just put out a text, which might have been terrifying for me, just to even do that one thing, the output is not as great. So evidently, I just want to tell you guys that because I'm just learning that 4 ways of communicating with them if you really want them to see it in at least 1 or 2 of the ways that they receive information. So for me, email about half the time, text not as much. As far as someone selling to me, Facebook or Instagram, I see those a lot. I don't know why I'm saying that. Anyways, I don't really have any other companies even reaching out to me privately. I guess Mary Kay's the only one that's we actually have a relationship with our customers and talk to them. Anyways, sorry, side note, I was just thinking about which ways I receive information best. There's no other companies like a Mary Kay. We show them the products and let them try it. There's nobody else that does that with me. I think everything's just virtual if you happen to see it or maybe be on their customer page. But we got catalogs and we got all that. So all that to say, you got your base that you sell, you get catalogs to, okay? And then you've got faces. The average face orders $50 to $100. So you might have to look at, okay, my little base of, let's say you've got 20 customers. Then if they order 20 customers, we said it averaged out 300 a year to about $20. Then you've got 20 customers on average. Ordering 20 is about 400 in sales. You want to hit the 1,200 in sales mark and make money. So 1,200 in sales mark and make 600 and still be a star. Then you'd have to close that gap. So you've got an $800 difference. So what I do is divide it by how many faces would I have to do a month to be a star. So in that, say your sales are 800, if you divide it by 75, that's how many faces you have to do because the average woman spends 50 to 100 bucks. So 75 times, or 800, let me just do my calculator real quick. If I had 800 that I needed to sell, divided by $75 a face, you'd have to see 10.6 faces. Are you kidding me? To sell enough to profit another 400 bucks and to be a star. So if you have 20 customers and you'd want to see about 10 or 11 faces a month, maybe 10 plus ordering your own things that you need. Okay, so I hope that helps a little bit. So you've got your customers, then you've got your faces a month. And the faces could be inviting them to a hydra session facial in our virtual group that we do every month. And from there they can go on to do some color and some other fun things that we do. That's always people's first stop. If they get a facial with me, in person or virtually, or if they're at a virtual party, then they go into hydro session next. Then they go into some color next. So they always get those dates with us to try skincare, and hydro session's amazing. Hydro session probably would sell about 100 a person on average if you average it out. So hydro session's great. Okay, so we've got customers with catalogs, doing faces like hydro session or in-person parties or even the virtual parties. And from there, you know, you can invite them to future things and fill up your date book that way, your event VIP list. Okay. Then you've got like specialty sales. Okay. So you've got your customers that you already have. So if you do catalogs really well and you have pretty good sales with them, then you can go in, probably would be okay once a quarter, to tell them, like, I think my customers would have no problem knowing I'm having a deal. They love, I think, some of them, not all of them, of course, I don't know, when I have a mascara-thon where it's like buy one, get one half off at mascara and eye makeup remover. So you guys will see October, we always do that mascara-thon. So you'll have some specialty times that you'll sell with them. One thing, it's called a star certificate, that I think customers would really like. Sorry, I just thought about the birthday certificate I do too, is where they can purchase a gift card, for example, for like $100 value, but just pay $75. So that's called a star certificate. So they're going to be giving you $75 cash and getting $100 worth of product, which costs you $50. So you're making 25% instead of 50%. But star certificates are a really great one. So now here's like a thought in crunch mode. Okay. We have 2 weeks now to finish this star quarter. Okay. So you can totally look at how much you have in. You'll go to Business Tools, My Business, Reports, and then click on Star Consultant Quarterly Tracking or something like that. And then you'll see where your gap is. Okay. So knowing that we just have 2 weeks left, it's a little bit helpful. You will, sorry, there's a little box. I was going to move it into my face. Okay. You might have 800 in. Okay. So that means if you have 800 wholesale in, you need 1,000 wholesale. That means you either are going to sell 1,000 and build your inventory, you know, with the 500 profit, you're going to put it into inventory, which I never think is a bad thing, by the way. Christy, my leader, has always taught us like just the value of inventory as an asset to book and sell and recruit, like to use it as a tool. One other crazy thing about inventory, I think, is when I was single, I was almost out of debt, and I was trying to think of if I should get a savings or CD or how I could actually start like building wealth. If you put your money in the stock market, it trends about 12% growth. Savings is like 2% or something, but compound interest on the stock market or whatever. But if you put your products into Mary Kay to be a savings for you, which if you've been around Mary Kay very long and you love the products yourself, you'll be able to notice that if you want to sell some products, if you want to throw them in a basket or do a bunch of facial parties, or you're excited about something and text your customers and cause a ruckus, like you can really sell a lot really quickly. Also on that note of Star Consultant, I'll have to tell you some of my last minute things I do. So Mary Kay can be an ATM to us, especially if you haven't tried that yet. You'll love throwing stuff in a basket, which we need to talk about anyways in a second. So I was single and I wanted to buy, I was like, okay, my first dream as a single chick, now that I'm debt free, can be, I can save up for a house. So I wanted to save up like $5,000 for a down payment to a house. And I wanted to put it somewhere and start to save it. And you know what I thought? I was like, I would rather put $5,000 into my product to go onto my shelf so that when I'm ready to pull that money out of my ATM, it's worth $10,000. So Mary Kay is 100% return. What you put in, you get out twice as much. So you get out what you put in. So if I put in So if I wanted to like, this is kind of dumb, but if I needed $5,000 to save up, then I would put 2,500 basically from profits, probably from my sale profits, which means it didn't come out of my pocket at all. I'd put 2,500 into Mary Kay products, right? Say I put it on its own little shelf from my profits, from all my sales. Then when it was time, I could sell that shelf. And maybe I purchased all Time Wise 3D and repair skincare, and I went on a facial binge, and I told everybody I have a house that I'm going to buy, and I'm just borrowing everybody's faces to show you the new 3D and repair skincare lines. They've only been out over the last few years. Would you be a guinea pig for me and let me like just borrow your face? And by the way, do you have some friends you can bring? You can have up to 6 friends, and I'll give you a shopping spree. Okay, right? So then all I'd have to do is sell 5,000. It only cost me 250. Sell that 5,000, and it's not my core inventory. My inventory is over here already. You know that I need like to survive off of for my business. This is all just my cash that I doubled. Isn't that crazy? So I'm always for having inventory as the best investment probably out there for you. If you love the products, then you'll have no problem um, using Mary Kay as an ATM for yourself. So, okay, let's see. Other quick ideas. I don't know if you've heard this story before, but there was one time, this is very strange, maybe. Some of you guys might be able to relate to it, but I um, had, and sometimes still do, a very high fear level. And I was a new Christian starting Mary Kay, and I was very afraid to do the wrong thing. Like, not just in Christianity or whatever, but in friendships, anything. That, like, I would do the wrong thing and I would get in trouble, or someone would get angry at me. Like, that was a huge fear that someone would get upset with me or not like me. And so I was like always like walking on eggshells. Anyways, so same thing with Mary Kay. I was like, am I supposed to be doing Mary Kay? I'm like, am I just making people mad? Like it wasn't about, and not that life's all about this, but it wasn't about what do I really want? What are some of my dreams? What's a way that I can benefit my life, but also bless other people? What's a way that I can benefit my family? And Mary Kay for me now fits all those things. It's a big blessing. But back then it was like, why am I doing this? Am I stealing from people? Like just, like lots of fears. So some of you guys might relate because I think some of those are just natural hindering thoughts that we might have. One of my affirmations is I show women who they are. Ignore the devil in this list. So I'm trying to remember. But it has to do with like I used to just believe every lie and fear, and I'll use like the devil, like every attack against me, it would hit me and it would penetrate and it would last a long time. And now I've got, strength and truth that I know like, oh, and it doesn't bug me if that makes sense. That's what I like. The more that you go through Mary Kay and the more you go through, um, longer in marriage and whatever, all the things that you learn. Oh, that wasn't true anyways. I was a false evidence appearing real. That was just fear, anyway. So you get this like strength to be able to overcome more and more that comes at you. Um, so I was afraid that if I went for Star, the specific bag I wanted, really great luggage. Okay, it was like white with black floral through it, with a plastic covering, and it was a tote on top, but it zipped open to be a luggage too, and it had a pulley thing on it. So just huge, great luggage and a couple extra pieces to it. Um, I wanted it so bad, but I was like, what if I'm wasting my time? What if I'm putting too much time into this when then I'm supposed to be like what if God wants me doing something else with my time? Like what if I put all my energy into this and I fail? What if I um go for it? I'm not supposed to be like I just was like the biggest thing I was afraid of doing the wrong thing, like being in the wrong place at the wrong time, saying the wrong thing, like just took care of it. Anyways, so I just had a little quiet time and I really felt like I wanted. like I started maybe listening to that little voice inside of me that said, like, I really like that. Like that's something I would like. That's something I would like to do. Maybe it's worth putting some time and energy into that luggage because I like it, you know, instead of like right or wrong or anyways. So I really like that little voice now that's like, ooh, that's pretty. And I've learned that it's okay to like put time and energy and work towards, pretty things and things that are dreams of mine too. Like even, you know, God speaking, like, God wants me to be happy and have some things that I like and enjoy my life and enjoy the time. I don't have to spend all my time serving others and slaving for others, including my family. Okay, sorry. That was really like kind of preachy moment. But I learned a lot evidently through this. And I decided during that, like, I was like sitting on my bathroom floor. I remember all this, like, should I be going for this thing or not? Like, is this a waste of my time? Is this what you want, God? Um, sorry, I got a scratchy voice. And then sorry, there's twinkling sound going on. Decided like I was gonna go for it. So here's what happened, y'all. And this was at a point where I had probably been a star once or twice. I had probably been in Mary Kay 2 years, almost 2 full years, because I remember what happened. And I did like 4 or 5 strategic things. Okay. I remember it was about to be like Christmas time, so I was going to have an open house. So, on that note, Christy Bigham gave us the idea that whenever new products come out, to have an open house. She was like the queen of sales and on like the top 20 for all of Mary Kay. And when people asked her what she did, she said that. And I was like, well, that's genius. So I like to, even if you don't have a whole lot of the things, maybe buy one of each anyways, and then end up using them on yourselves, like sample and use it on yourselves. And it's a tax write-off. Um, put them all like in a little bucket and have some lemonade and cookies over and invite your customers over to your house to see what's new and maybe do a little sale. Okay. So I do that now, except for when COVID happened, it got a little weird. In El Paso, Quarterly, Seminole, Hobbs, and Lubbock are where my main customers are, where they can just stop and shop and see the new products. Okay. So that's like one strategic thing. So this time I had an open house and I decided because I really wanted that luggage that I would take my open house in my trunk, which I had done before, um, to the customers that responded that they might want to come but weren't able to make it. And then I had like my trunk with like a blanket over it. If it's real hot or real cold, you can kind of isolate or insulate it that way. Would take it to all those people that would let me. And each one is an appointment. So if you imagine, that's like 50 to 75 to 100. Some might have spent 20 or some didn't buy anything or whatever, but it counted for me. I was like, I'm gonna count it as like a face because I'm gonna sell to them, maybe tell them about something coming up. Um, anyways, I saw all these people and I think that's like the main way I did it. And then I had my discontinued basket is like my big draw. I just remember showing it to a couple like major customers like that. Some of them were like barely customers that bought something every once in a while. But I was like, hey, I've got my little stop and shop on the road now. Can I pay you a visit at, work during lunchtime or your home or something? And so I made appointments out of that. And then plus current facials that we're doing. Trying to think if there's like other things. If you want to like text me and talk to me, I'll also tell you. Um, if you kind of tell me where you're at, numbers wise, some ideas. There's always mascarathon. And then if you get like really desperate, I'm just gonna tell you, but I don't want like it's not something we want to do like really often, but really desperate and you really want the prize, then I do $100 shopping spree for $50. So I've done that one time. Uh, when I wanted to be on target for quarter sales, I was like 2 or 3,000 away, and it was between Christmas and New Year's. And I'm like, I'm not doing any facials, these few days, a couple of family members or whatever. But so $100 shopping is $50. They get to choose up to $100 worth of product and just pay 50 plus the full tax on it. Oh, someone's coming to my mailbox. She's knocking. She's got an email in her hand. Okay. Okay. So there's my total desperation one, but you don't want to do that often because you don't make money on that. But you can get her maybe on some new products she's never used before. So I definitely do that on people's birthdays too. Anyways, hope that's helpful. Maybe comment below what the most helpful thing was, and see you guys soon.